Fabrics like microfleece and terry cloth may not seem heat press friendly, but on this episode of Decoration Myths, we're going to prove that they are. Welcome to another episode of Decoration Myths. I'm Stephen Bear from S&S Activewear.
And I'm Josh Ellsworth with STAHLS.
So Josh, today we want to look at the trouble people are having with textured fabric. So things like terry cloth, microfleece, velour, anything that has that nice fluffy feel. They're kind of, you're pressing it down. It's sensitive.
Yeah,
right?
There's a lot that can go wrong with textured fabrics. It has to do with picking the right type of transfer or patch or product to go onto the textured fabric, number one. And then it's handling that fabric carefully so we are not matting down the texture or scorching or damaging the texture. So a lot to consider when decorating these fabrics, but we hope today that we can prove that it is possible and actually give you quite a few options to do it with.
Hey, we've been successful in the past.
Yeah.
So
what do you think? So I had to have this style. I love this velour
Oh, no,
cap.
this is a great piece. This is the velour bucket hat from Russell Athletic. And so this hit and it went out just as fast because it was something new, right? But a lot of people right away when it got delivered was like, how do you decorate this, right?
Yeah, and it can be a challenge for sure, just being able to load this onto a press. So today we have the Hotronix 360 IQ, and I'll go ahead and load this on just to show how this is possible. So first, we have a ton of open space on this heat press, and so that gives me the ability to take something that's not a standard cap, be able to load it into place and have plenty of room for the bulk or the excess of the cap to hang below.
That's great.
And I can feel the moisture coming off of this thing. So I'm just making sure it has good contact. It's nice and flush against the platen. And I've made some adjustments on the press. And so I have the top heat at 200 degrees only. And so normally I'm running this press at 280 degrees or more on top and 320 degrees on bottom. But because I'm worried about crushing or damaging or scorching this textured fabric, I'm going to run at a much lower top temperature. That's the first tip, is heat from beneath the surface where you're not going to risk damaging the pile or the texture of the fabric.
Great.
So full 320 degrees on the bottom, that's the benefit of a top-bottom heat press. And then I'm also going to use this thin foam cover pad to help to protect it from scorching as well.
Great.
Now, lots of different choices. This is a product called soft foam. So it's actually a polyurethane-based foam, has some dimension to it, and it's produced on what's called a print cut machine.
Wow.
And so full color, as many colors as you want right in the logo, all possible. You notice I kind of stripped that from the carrier sheet that it arrives on.
Yeah.
Because I just want to be dealing with the soft foam. And it's under the heat. You can see it kind of curling up there, right?
A little bit.
So I'm going to position this onto the cap and apply a little bit of pressure with just my thumbs to try to warm and kind of melt that adhesive and try to get it to hold to the cap.
That's all that strong heat coming from the bottom.
Yeah, I have 320 degrees coming from the bottom, so I'm hoping it's enough to gel that adhesive to get it to hold, and it's not. So what do I do from there? So I'm going to take a piece of the thermo tape, and this is just a heat-resistant tape that I can use to hold the item flat. And the reason I didn't want that carrier sheet on there is because it's a little bit easier to adhere with the reduced heat on the bottom without the carrier. And so in this case, I'm going to use the thermo tape, kind of stretch that out nicely to hold it into place. Shows you the real benefit of this tape. Make sure I have everything in position.
No, and that tape is super sticky too, because you'd think with that fabrication that it would have a hard time adhering to the velour surface there. So,
and as long as it holds it in place enough so you can just lay the pad on top of it flat, that's going to provide the weight to hold it all nice together. And so this is interesting, and we have some time here. I'll lock this down. Very, very light pressure. I'm actually at a 0 pressure on the control board right now, which basically means very low contact.
Gotcha.
Because otherwise we're going to crush that fabric. So very low heat on top, most of the heat from the bottom, very low contact, and I'm extending the dwell time. So rather than just running 30 seconds, what do you think I'm running?
At 60?
60 seconds,
Wow.
exactly. I've doubled
Wow.
it because I've reduced that top heat.
That probably, because usually this machine, I always remember it kind of clicks,
Yeah.
right? With the heavier patches and stuff. So
yeah, and you'll notice when it goes to open up, the pressure is so light on this, it's just barely going to open up and then
nice.
automatically release. And so one operator, certainly if you're doing a whole job of this, you're going to be running 2 to 3 machines per operator to get the most output out.
Oh, great.
So we got 8 seconds till blast off here.
And here comes smooth.
We're hoping, right?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I like it.
Opens up. We have contact here. And so looks like it wasn't enough pressure to adhere it. So what I can see here is right away you can see the top edge lifting, right? I didn't get enough pressure.
Yeah, but from my angle, you could see that pop right up. So.
But on the bottom, it's good.
Yeah.
Right? Which means I didn't get enough pressure. I ran it a little bit too light. And as you know, when we make a mistake or when we have a potential challenge, what do? We
try again.
We just repeat it, right? And so this has a pressure center adjustment right on the top. So I'm just going to give this a couple turns to lower that heat press platen. That's going to apply a lot more pressure, just making sure my pad's center, so I'm not going to damage the, I guess you call that the bill of the cap, right?
Yeah.
Get it to have a lot more contact. I still don't think that's quite enough, so I'm going to just
give it a
little bit more, right? I don't want to overdo it.
Sure.
So trial and error test, I always say, you're going to figure out this application in your business, or we're going to figure it out here together by watching these videos.
Sure.
And you're going to have the technique to do it accurately every time.
Well, what's great is, like, I mean, this is like the first load in for a hat. So you take your time, you go step by step, and you've always been successful about, repeating. So,
and if it's not successful, what do?
We go to the next.
We keep going. We keep
going.
Right?
I love it.
Or we'll prove it that it is not a decoration myth. It is a decoration fact.
Yes.
That you cannot do this velour cap. Either way, we're going to have an answer here.
We're here for you.
All right. So almost ready to open. Okay, we have good contact now.
Nice.
So I'm going to remove it from the heat press surface. I want that adhesive to set up. And so before I peel the tape away, I'm going to let the adhesive cool completely down. But you can see, because I was at such a light pressure, the velour really isn't
it's coming back to life.
Impacted at all, right?
Exactly.
You're not matting it down. You're not crushing it. And so you could even take like a wire brush and brush off these edges to get it to blend perfectly even at the edge. So not a permanent issue. It's just matted down from the pressure. Fluff it back up and we're good to go. So
it's a nice patch too. It's soft, kind of bends with the hat.
Yeah, we should be good to go. So I'm just going to grab the corner of the tape here, try to get a good handle on it. Remove it.
Nice.
Right? And now we have a completed cap.
That's great.
1 for 1.
1 for 1.
All right. Talk to me about this next piece, because everybody wants to decorate these.
Everybody wants to decorate these. So this comes from Columbia's, probably their most successful line with us. It's a microfleece. It's the women's Benton springs. And then it has the male companion, which is Steen's Mountain. And so this has been a leader in the Columbia house for a long time. So you're absolutely correct. People are constantly asking, how can we decorate this? So,
yep. And I have lots of experience with this one. So let me first start with telling you how you can't. I haven't personally been able to conquer this one with top heat only.
Okay.
Because when you're pressing with top heat, you need a lot of heat from the top, a lot more than the 200 degrees we're working with. And basically it crushes this fiber down and you see the platen mark, you see the box. Okay. And so we're going to try the same technique we just used, but we're going to introduce a new product to you.
Great.
Okay. And so for this one, I'm going to use a PVC patch.
Oh, that's neat.
And I love these. Super thick rubber-like PVC patch. That's what I'm going to need for this job. And so let's get the item loaded. Typically, I'd like to tape this out first, but what's pretty cool about this piece, it has this seam structure and alternate color that's letting me see exactly where I am.
That's great.
For placement, so I don't really need to worry about placing it on the press and having it be crooked. So we'll start here. I'm going to position this into the perfect left chest location. Again, I'm at the 200 degrees on top, 300 degrees on the bottom. I'm going to cover it with the cover pad. Now you see that buttons kind of
Sure.
in the edge.
Yeah.
I really don't want to damage my rubber pad, although they are replaceable. It may leave a little indent mark and cause it issues. So now once it's into position, I will use the tape. Just get a piece on there nice and generous. Let's just rotate this around to get rid of that button. So now it's falling off the edge.
It's awesome. And this is the whole beauty of the 360 IQ is you can just keep rolling it.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
And again, because I'm 300 degrees on top, sorry, 200 degrees on top.
I was 300 is coming from the bottom.
320 on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm going to run this the 60 seconds as well. And so with the foam, we know that at the initial pressure, we didn't get contact. We adjusted the pressure up slightly. So now we're at like a 1 or a 2 pressure on the machine, which has a readout.
Okay.
And so now I have that kind of recipe for those textured fabrics that we're going to translate from the velour now to the microfleece.
Great. Well, it's great to hear that you found a solution and you've used this before, which is top heat. But now that you guys have a machine that does both.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is like this is a cap press, and I like to say can apply practically anything. That's what cap stands for. But there are other optional platens out there. We call them a power platen that fits onto your flat press. So if you're going to do a ton of work like this, you may not want to use the cap press for it. You can outfit your normal Hotronix press with a heated lower platen and be really set up for production on this. So plenty of options here. So let's just remove this. Again, going to let it cool down. And then I'm going to grab the edge of the tape, remove it.
There it is.
And got a nice clean result, like not crushed at all.
Yeah.
Right? And so just to like think about applying this with top heat, what you end up with is that box and that edge in the microfleece crushed down from top heat only. By coming from the bottom, not only do we get a quality result, we get a durable result, and we open up our choices.
I love it.
All
That's a clean looking patch too. It's very, very appealing to the eye there.
Yeah, lots of dimension. Nice. And so this is fun. I like
so this is the towel from rabbit skin. So we threw this in because this has more of that terry cloth type feel, right? And I thought we'd look at, what do parents want to do? They want to include their kids these days, right? So why not? I know you picked out some great logos for like the spa. Maybe think about like a gift shop offering.
Yeah,
right?
There's always plenty of like the nice luxurious spa robes for the parents, the welcome gifts for the parents. But hey, the kids want included too.
Exactly.
And so how about next time you go out to that resort or that spa or that client and there are families traveling, incorporating a fun little item like this. And who did you say this was from again?
This is from Rabbit Skins.
Okay, excellent. And we have a lot of different ways that we can accommodate this. Because I already have the hat press heated up, this sort of hood area that comes over the kid's head with the
it's got the nice little ears.
Yeah. I'm going to use the hat press for that. And let's start there. And
so again, you have this flat surface on the outside and then the kind of terry loop on the inside.
Yeah, and look at this, using the ears for alignment right between the ears. Right? All right.
Got to use it.
Yep. And then this is what's called a sublimated twill patch. And so we call it CAD Prints Permatwill, really long name, but basically it's a digital twill transfer. So it's great because some of the patches, like embroidery patches, and PVC patches, they can even get expensive, or you have to be to a certain quantity to have it make sense. We know typically the kid stuff doesn't sell at as high volumes as the adult. So having a nice low run product that you can get quick turn is great on this. So
fantastic point.
On this one, I'm going to grab a cover sheet because that is sublimated, right? And so I'm going to cover this with a cover sheet. I could trim this to size if I wanted, if I had scissors, or I'll just kind of
weed it in there,
fold it over, right? Then I'm going to take my rubberized pad on the top, and again, we'll just lock it down. This one I would have high confidence running for the 280 on top, 320 on bottom for 30 seconds. That will give me the quickest result if I'm running production because I already had my heat press set up for the 60 seconds and the lower temperature on top from the other products. We can apply it at that as well.
Nice.
So again, just extend that dwell time if you're lowering your temperature. I'm not as concerned about the terry cloth damaging. I've successfully heat pressed all sorts of golf towels in the past,
Sure,
beach towels, etc.
right.
People are intimidated by it, but that's a myth. You can absolutely decorate these fabrics without issue.
So back to the sublimated, you're putting that kind of like preventative sheet to protect your foam pad, but also to keep the ink in there.
Yeah.
Right?
So when you are sublimating, the process is actually it's turning into a gas when it's heated, and so that is the process of dyeing the white twill when we make the patch.
Sure.
But when you heat it again, that gas wants to release, and so I don't want to damage this more expensive pad. So I put this cheaper cover sheet in between. So if there's any release, it's covered. So we'll let this one cool down. As it's cooling down, before I remove that tape from it, let's go ahead to the flat press and show a full back print. So I have this already heated up to 300, 305 degrees. I'm going to start with the preheat on this since it's not warming from underneath. And that's when I'll actually check my pressure. It says overload, so it's too much pressure. So let me just adjust that back. And that's a 6, so that's a nice medium pressure. Preheat step, and we're going to do a full back print. Now, because I'm decorating this nice textured fabric, I went ahead and selected a product that we called soft foam. And so you'll notice different media, single color media. It's a full back print on this. And so soft foam is really pliable and kind of matches the feel and the aesthetic of the piece.
That's nice. Now, didn't we use the printed soft foam on the velour hat?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So you can get digital transfers out of soft foam, or you can get the single color soft foam, which can be loaded into a vinyl cutter and cut, or ordered cut for you. So you just position and press it.
Nice.
Pretty quick application now, 15 seconds.
I like it.
Open it up, swing it away. And this is a warm peel. So I'm just going to give it a couple seconds, and then I'll grab the corner and peel away the backing. Again, I'm anxious, so I peeled too quick. So let me just tack it again for a few seconds.
Hey, we're here.
Get it to hold back, and I'll remove it from the press. And then we'll go ahead and let it cool down for just a bit. And then we will remove the backing warm like it calls for. So you can see the finished piece. Backing's getting ready to be peeled. While we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and peel this. This is certainly cooled down by now, our front piece. So that piece is done.
Well, you have a gift store ready piece right here.
It's pretty sharp, I think.
Is.
I think
absolutely.
Any kid or family would be excited to receive this. And whenever they check into a resort or schedule a spa appointment or stop at the kids club, I just think there are a ton of opportunities for just coordinating pieces for the youth market. So
it's nice. And then, anytime you can offer a kind of a double hit for locations with logos, I think it's just, it's a bonus.
Yeah, and nothing is damaged about the
this is great.
velour on the inside texture. And then feel this soft foam. I mean, you would think that would be, even though it's dimensional, it has some really great pliability.
No, this is totally soft to where, like, if somebody put it up again their skin, I mean, it's great.
All right, you're all in on this. You're fully immersed.
This thing is a little warm, so I got it. Yeah, sorry. Can I put it on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry.
Maybe that's more your style.
Yeah. This is. I think that's more my style. Yeah.
So lots of options, lots of opportunities in textured fabrics, and the key thing is that with the right tools, the right equipment, the right products, you can absolutely conquer these with confidence.
I like it. Well, again, this has been a great episode of discovering things that are possible. So thank you for watching Decoration Mess. You'll find all the links to the products below, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks.